Couldn't thank them enough for what they do. Now, we are starting here in game number 2 over here between Polt and PenguiN on King Sejong Station. At the top left side of the map in the blue, representing CMStorm. Give it up for Polt! Yeah, woo! You know, I need like the little kids in my apartment complex just like outside screaming like they usually do and clapping. That's like the one thing we're missing, a little bit more atmosphere. A little bit more of that live studio atmosphere. We need the clapping, man. I need a clap track. He is, of course, playing down here at the bottom right side of the map against his opponent in the yellow. Teamless but dangerous. It is PenguiN. Again, best of 3, CMStorm's. Polt is one game away from moving on to the semifinals. I think Polt plays... Let me double check. He, of course, plays MVP. He's on the bottom side of the bracket. MVP beats Snoot 2-1. Top side of the bracket right now, 2-1. Looks like Symbol moved on to the semifinals. He's waiting for the winner of Hearthstone and Impact, man. Hearthstone keeping the Foreigner dream alive, man. Big props to him, the Selfie King himself. Now, yeah, and for those that are wondering who's going to be casting, who's going to be covering the semifinals, that is going to be all Red Bull, of course. So after we're done here with this series, head over to the main stream. They're going to be covering the rest of the tournament, including the semifinals and the finals. So Polt over here at the top left side, starting off with his Rax, Gas, Reaper play, of course, none other than that. Well, hold on, I don't want to jump the gun just yet. He should be. He should be. He should be, yeah, okay. Meanwhile, Hatch first, Pool coming down for PenguiN, grabbing the gas right now, so nothing really too out of the ordinary. This is about as standard of an opener as you could ever see in a TVZ, so nothing shock and awe or anything like that at all. Now, in that last game, again, Polt did play a very wonderful pressure style. We talked about map control, and that was very important. That really did influence the result. The fact that majority of the game, if you took like a little bit of like a heat tracker or whatnot, or like a possession, like I don't know if you guys ever watch sports and they take a look at like the amount of like the possession tracker or whatever, like where was the ball or where was the team like a majority of the time, and this is one of those type of things where you would see the Polt was over in his opponent's territory the whole entire time with a lot of Widow Mines, a lot of bio, putting on a lot of pressure. There was never, I want to say there was never a point in time for PenguiN where he was able to really truly look at the other side of the map and be the one that actually was the aggressor. There was a couple times where the mutas did fly in inside the main base and over to that top left side towards the end of the game, but I mean, really, they were minimal influence in terms of how they affected Polt's playstyle. Polt really only had to send a few Marines over to shoo him off, and then eventually, you know, PenguiN did have to deal with that reality of dealing with the army on his side of the map. So, of course, good Widow Mine spread from Polt as well. He had a lot of Widow Mines, spread them out very nicely, put up almost a little bit of a barricade, if you want to call it that, of Widow Mines. So with that amount of Widow Mines and that type of spread, it's very hard to find a very efficient upgrade. Engagement. Also, as well, you got to watch out. Those Marauders are just, I mean, the Marauders soak up so much damage. You had Thors included within some of those battles as well. So lots of units were getting wasted, and unfortunately, there was never a point in time where PenguiN could truly, really like look at his upgrades or really look at his. We saw just he barely was able to inch out the +3 Carapace upgrade. Never even had a chance to think about maybe getting an Ultralist Cavern down and getting those units out. And again, it's to a time and certain point. Every Zerg does have to face that reality where if they stay on lair a little bit too long, they will get punished for it. Again, I mean, generally, not always the case. Sometimes you could stay on for a while, keep trading over and over again. Once you got 3-3-3 and you got Adrenal Gland as well, you could technically do that, but it becomes a lot tougher. Once the Terran player, he's got the +3 upgrades on all across the board. Once he gets maxed out, once he's got a very comfortable eco, it becomes very, very tough to deal with that. Now, Reapers are coming home right now. We are seeing the same opener that we saw from last game, the Reactor Hellions, and now we're getting a oh wait, hold on just a moment, Mr. Polt. Marauders in production now. This is a little bit more of the Polt I'm used to, having a little bit of fun, especially on this map as well. Getting the medevac, getting the Viking out. Damn, I really want to see from him the four Marauder drop, man. That's like one of his staples. Like I really enjoyed watching when he does the quadruple Marauder drop with the Hellion support. Wouldn't be surprised. Like also when he drops that armory and goes into those quick like Hellbat Marauder aggression. Those are so fun to watch. Now, picking off a little bit of HP from these queens on the front side, saving his Reaper. Good job, Micro, in the back. Again, for those that are not too familiar with Heart of the Swarm, Reapers do heal away from combat after a certain amount of time. The challenge, of course, for PenguiN right here is getting that creep and getting defenses set up in position in time to distance himself out to the third base. He is already getting the Sport Callers out, so he doesn't really have to worry about the Banshees within his main and his natural as much. Now there is a Viking out on the field, clears out that first Overlord. We'll be able to also probably get this other one, and actually there's quite a few Overlords for the pickings for Polt, so a little bit of a mistake I want to say from PenguiN spreading himself out really this far. Spire underway for PenguiN right now, Armory's underway. Man, does Polt need just a few more seconds. That's all he really needs. Does he have the medevac coming out? Yes, he's got the medevacs coming out. This is going to be such a heavy aggressive onslaught. This is going to be cool because what we're going to watch and see is it's just going to be the amount of time that Polt's going to have to pull this off before the mutants come out. Really, is what it's going to come down to, and how much damage can PenguiN withstand. PenguiN doing a good job trying to surround right there a lot of these forces. Going to clear out some of those lings out of the way. Keeping the Hellions alive. Keeping the Hellions alive. Keeping the Hellions alive! And what those Hellions are going to turn into very soon are Hellbats. And Hellbats can, of course, get healed by medevacs. So keep that in mind for every single Hellion that he kept alive. It's going to work in his favor. Viking, of course, crossing the northern ends of the wintry map of King Sejong Station, doesn't spot anything specifically there. Here come the medevacs, and here come the Marauders and the Hellbats on one side now. Still keeping those Hellions alive on the bottom side. Now the thing is, he's going to be very distracted because he's going to have to deal and spread himself over 2 locations in terms of defense. Lings open up the barricade over here. Here comes the Hellbat and the Marauder drop. That is nowhere near enough Lings to actually defend against this. So Polt needs to actually do something with this. And you can see he's formed the rest of them in the Hellbats. He's pressing over by the third base over here, clearing out the Lings and the Queens inside the main base right now. Mutas are just about out, but there's still going to be quite a bit of damage that's possible for him to get done. And indeed, here he goes, right into that mineral line right now. Going to just try to kill off as many workers as he possibly can. Meanwhile, over here at the third base, trying to attempt to do the same thing, but Queens are putting up a pretty nice barricade right now, preventing that. And man, PenguiN holding it off right there. This is what I was talking about. How much damage can he get done before the mutas come out? And you know what? I really would have thought he would have been able to get a little bit more done, but good hold right there. Great hold by PenguiN. He's now going to be able to get his worker count up. He's up to 94 supply. Mutas are out on the map. Polt, where's your third base? It's just finished up right now. He's trying to get barracks desperately out on the map. Turrets are just coming up right now. Oh, doesn't beat... yeah, barely doesn't beat the punch. Picks off a worker, but has to float out of there. Let's take a look at the workers lost tab right now. 6 total workers killed off by Polt, 24 Lings. You know, for that amount of Marauders, Hellbats, and Medevacs, and Reapers, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's what we call minimal losses in the industry. Marines coming in here trying to help defend. Good micro right there, poking at some of the SCVs. Look at that. Just dip-dopping away at all of those units. PenguiN going to chase down this Reaper. Reaper be gone. And this is kind of interesting. He's going to take the 4th hatch to the right side. And usually how I'm used to seeing playing, at least Zergus, at least in terms of comfort level, usually they might want to try to flood towards the same area that they're spreading the creep to. Take the hatch over here. Yes, you got to worry about that high ground that you could maybe lose, you know, some SCVs or something like that off of the high ground. But I'm sorry, not SCVs, drones off of the high ground, but at the same time, if you're playing in this vicinity, as long as you have static defense on the right side, you don't have really too many things to worry about. Though there is also the factor where this hatchery technically is in closer proximity to the natural. It's a lot, and maybe it might be a little bit easier, or at least towards a comfort level for PenguiN to flow between this area, between this 3rd to this 4th. Instead of having to flow from, you know, 3rd to 4th, and he's all the way over here, especially if, you know, drops come within the main base. It's one of those factors that you got to worry about just a little bit. A couple of mutas are hanging out inside the main base watching as the hatchery does finish. Might want to join them up with the rest of his mutas if he, of course, notices them. Polt beginning to press out. picking off all the changelings, and this is that scary army, man. This is that Polt push, man. That just for whatever reason, like every other turn I watch, I'm like, I can't figure out why does this work so well for Polt? He comes out with the same Widow Mines and the same Bioforce that I do. Somehow I'm not able to press in and make something of it. Now Lings do split up. They're going to be running in. Lifts up over here. Going to split them up, of course, across the natural as well. Might be able to get a couple of CV kills. Gets one. It distracts Polt for a little bit. It distracts Polt. The Mutaflot getting a little bit bigger. 4 more in production right now. We do have 1-1 finish up for both players right now. +1 Flowers underway, +2 Carapace for our Zerg player, +2 attack about done for Polt, as well as also starting as +2 armor. Concussive Shell going to be done for Marauders here momentarily as well, and very important to actually have that upgrade, because what that does is slow down stuff like Baneling, slows down Lings, prevents them from getting a very nice, clean, quick engagement or quick surround, so really nice when you can slow them up a little bit. Muta's flying in here, sniping down a medevac. Nice efficient little slow pickoffs coming out from PenguiN right now, +1 armor as well for mechanical units. Polt now to a point where he's very safe with that third base. I actually really like this wall off. I'm starting to adore it more and more. Just a nice little wall off bunker within the distance. If anything tries to border it or body it, it will get killed off. Meanwhile, Baneling's getting some decent connections, but Widow Mines, I think, getting the better end of that battle right there. But we see already a lot more in production right now. 56 total Links. He needs to form a lot of Banelings very quickly. Bioforce coming over here to the third base, or towards that third base area, clears out some of the creep over to the north of the fourth. Hive about halfway done, so at least the Hive I feel like is coming out a little bit quicker than it did last game, but that doesn't mean anything really too specifically. I mean, at the same, if Polt's able to just get his 33-3 underway as well, like, it doesn't really matter too much how quick you get your lair. When it comes down to lair, the only thing that matters is if you think you have enough time to actually invest into the Ultralisk Cavern and make something of it, or going into heavy like Infestors. There's just, I don't know, you have to bam. Muta's falling apart. Yeah, no, it's investment. It's kind of one of those things, like, even I'm sitting here just like watching, I'm like, I don't know if he has enough time to be able to actually realistically invest into that tech path. And because it is a heavy investment too, especially with Polt's playstyle, with the amount of Widow Mines that he does spread, with the amount of Marines, Marauders that he's got on the map, he's going to be able to, I feel like, micro out of those scenarios, and almost would feel like a little bit of a waste to do that. Muta's flying inside the natural, trying to get a little bit more done. Polt says, "You shall fly here no more." 4 turrets going up. 2 and 2 Widow Mines weren't enough last time around, apparently. 5th hatch underway for PenguiN. He does, of course, have that macro hatch. He still has those 2 Mutas sitting inside the main base that he forgot about. I wonder if he'll actually at some point look in there and notice it. He's got, you know, it's kind of like it's like that picture. It's like, what is different here? What doesn't fit here? Now, there are a lot of Lings and Banelings here, so PenguiN taking like minimal little engagements, trying to chip away units for units, Widow Mine for Widow Mine, like Widow Mine for Baneling, that type of stuff. Meanwhile, over here, he's sending a little bit of a miniature push down to the bottom left to this 5th hatch. This is when PenguiN gets really spread, when he's actually got to cover 4th hatch, 3rd hatch, and then 5th hatch as well. That takes a lot of creep, that takes a lot of units and confidence to be able to split yourself up that much. Oh, he's going to go for it, slowly picking off. Widow Mines clear out. A lot of the forces slowly rolling their way on through. Widow Mines getting slammed down before they even have a chance to detonate. Another Widow Mine goes down. There's the rest of the Bioforces, but here comes PenguiN. He's going to continue rolling on through. Splits. Micro Trainer, baby. But, you know, PenguiN getting the better end of that engagement. That's going to force Polt all the way back. Don't chase too deep. Don't chase... Oh, man. About another inch and those Mutas would have been goners. Meanwhile, over here, a slight force of Marines continuing their aggression. Banelings do connect, so they, you know, take out a good chunk of the force. But I think there's just enough time to take down this hatch. Just barely. Yes, he focuses it down the hatch, just barely. So this does hinder PenguiN's ability to, you know, produce off of the 5 hatcheries, or 6 hatcheries, I guess, and have a 5th base. But he should probably be thinking about taking that hatchery anyways, as soon as he possibly can. Fourth base up for Polt right now, of course. Very healthy, good econ, but there needs to be some more mutas if he plans to continue harassing with those units. Has to pull him back right now. +2 melee just about done. +2 flyers almost done as well. +3 carapace actually. Good timing on that. Pathogen glands underway, so we might be seeing some infestors coming out. Also getting finally that Ultralisk Cavern out. So this is what we were talking about. Now watch and see. I really want to see how actually worthwhile this investment is going to be for... what am I still launches off? How worthwhile an investment this is going to be for PenguiN, because I feel like if he gets Ultras out, man, I have more than enough confidence in Polt to micro his way out of him. He's just got he's got too much map awareness. He's got Widowmine spread very efficiently. You could see even all those units are living through a lot of that harassment right there. Now, pretty cool split right there as we saw, taking a few banelings just to take out the turrets and then the mutas fly in. Very cool. How is this kid not on a team yet, man? Or on a team, man? Get PenguiN a team right now. This Widowmine wall off right here. Marines on the bottom left side of the map right now. Drones long distance mining basically to their death. At least they're coming right to the wrong mineral patch. There we go. PenguiN notices, pulls the drones off for now. Clears out an Overlord. We'll start taking out some of that creep out as well. Meanwhile, while the mutas and everything else go and try to clear out this little miniature attack, this allows more time for Polt to get into position over here, closer to the 4th hatchery, but once again, a huge influx of banelings and lings already. More mutas in production. We do have the Ultralisk Cavern finished up, if I'm not mistaken, and indeed we do. Still 2 mutas just hanging out inside the main base, man. These these are literally the laziest welfare mutas I've ever seen in my life, man. They're just like... We weren't born for fighting, I guess. I don't know. They're lovers, not fighters, man. Not the right game, not the right scenario or game to have that happen in. If those 2 mutas cost PenguiN the game, I'm gonna be really sad. Now, instead of going for Ultras, it looks like he's actually adding on a Greater Spire. Corruptor's underway, and he's gonna go for Broodlords. Now, my opinion on these are not the Broodlords, the Infestors, you know, back in the day from Wings of Liberty. These are your Broodlords that are kind of in your way and might be more of a problem than help. I guess with the help of mutas and broodlords, I guess they could pull it off, but at the same time, with if you just get, you know, micro properly, he's gonna have to invest a good amount of supply into the broodlords. That means he's gonna be taking away a lot from his ground army. The ground army gets wasted by the bioforces. The bioforces plus the Thors in like the air, they're gonna be able to deal a lot more damage. But here we go, good engagement right here coming out from PenguiN. Takes out the Thor. Still a lot of those mutas are alive, keeping alive, of course, making sure that he keeps them alive so you could regen them. Marine forces jumping up on the high ground from the 5th hatch over here. PenguiN's still not able to stably get a normal 5th hatch up and running for himself. Starting to drop in the supply as well. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but there we go. Gets 6 Broodlords underway, 4 Infestors in production. Needs about another minute. I'm not sure Polt is going to specifically give it to him. Overseer gets formed. Where are the Broodlords forming, by the way? Over under the natural hatch, it looks like. Oh, this game, man. This game. Polt, meanwhile, grabs a 5th hatch. I mean, sorry, yeah, Polt grabs a 5th hatch. No, Polt with the 5th planetary over here. Keeping his economy very stable still. That huge Widowmine wall off, as we call it. Mutas chasing down the double medevac drop. We'll clear that out with the mutas all the way at the top left side of the map. Polt decides he has enough confidence in him to start heading his way towards this 4th hatch, but we'll be greeted by some broodlings, and you know what? There's never a better time than to trade away broodlings for Widowmines, right? You're almost ecstatic to trade broodlings for Widowmines, and you can see those broodlings as well with the +2 air upgrades. They nom pretty quickly on the units, so this is pretty cool seeing from PenguiN. I'm a little bit still worried again. Broodlords, I consider them a little bit more of a hindrance than I do a benefit in this scenario. They might have been in a little bit of a better use if they were playing against mech, but we'll see. We'll see. Widowmine, the wall off is slowly getting picked off. Took out all the ones on the lower end. We'll take another one out on the high end. There's only a few really left, but you know, if he inches closer, you have like they're just so close from eating up a very too heavy of a shot. Another force coming out over here. Polt scans. We'll have to lift off. No, we'll just allow a majority of the forces to die off. I'd rather trade the force. Okay, that's fine. Mutas, though, over here. Oh, this is not good. Polt lets all of his workers die at the 4th planetary, but PenguiN not paying attention to his mutas, loses a few of them as well. This game going back and forth, man. PenguiN, though, finally, the good thing for him is he was able to get the 5th hatch up and finally running. Has the force of fungal on that one Marauder. Marauder, though, does, you know, get that one last shot off. Doesn't die in vain. Kills an Infestor. And now with the Infestors joining the Broodlords and the Mutas and a lot of Ling Baneling forming, and this might be the coup de grace right now that PenguiN needs. The only thing that PenguiN really has to worry about right now, if he does want to head up towards this 5th planetary, he has to send the Broodlords and the Overseer first. He needs the Broodlings to force the detonation, sort of kill off the Widow Mines. If he wants to go for the 4th planetary, that's a whole different story. He has basically the world at his hands. He could go for it. Now, there are only a few mutas left, so his air support is becoming very minimal. Vikings are starting to come out in hefty numbers, and I'm worried. I'm a little bit worried, just a little bit. Widow Mines detonating on the Broodlings, not what you want them detonating on. Slowly coming on through, and here we go. Here comes the filter. Good fungal, actually, right there. Beautiful. Catches a lot of those forces, and here comes PenguiN rolling on through. SCV's going down. Planetary basically naked at this point. Broodlings starting to work their way on through. Mutas clearing out the Vikings on the low ground, and you could call this a successful engagement. Yeah, you could. You could really call this a successful engagement. Polt dropping down a 1/10 supply. Pulling down, of course, that 5th planetary. But look at Polt, man. Working that multitask, working the angles. Over here, taking out that 5th hatch, taking out the 3rd hatch. Gas, Econ, disappearing quickly for PenguiN right now. He desperately needs to form a formidable army to fight this. +3 air upgrades underway. Man, if Polt wins this game right now, if Polt wins this game, it's not out of reach, like I'm saying. It's never out of reach. The Broodlords I consider, like I said, a little bit more of a hindrance than I do benefit, but Polt continuing to put up pressure lifts up the Thor. A little bit of moment. That Thor's like, get me out of here, Broodlords and Lings. They're surrounding me. Polt starting to mule up his brand new, I guess we could call it 6th base. There still is that one damn creep tumor that's still over here that's giving PenguiN all the necessary scouting to react in time to deal with this drop. Oh, Overseer baited the Widow Mine shot. Overseer falls down, and all these poor mutas eat up everything. Alright. Now, Polt coming up back over here to try to defend. A few more workers picked off. Polt's actually down to 21 workers, so these mules are very important for him at this left base. But one turret, is it going to be enough? No. One turret goes down. Damn, we are all over the place. Fungal. Another fungal. Beautiful. Polt dropping down to 97. Here comes the mutas. No more marine forces over here. All of these mules. Oh, the mules die off before they even get killed off. But this planetary does become naked. They kill off all the SCVs over here. Marine forces trying to run over here as quick as they possibly can. Actually, wouldn't have been too bad of an idea to keep the infestors around. Ambush right now. Ambush these bio forces. Hit them with the fungal. You know, all over here, that little bit of a Thor bio drop, taking out the 4th hatch. PenguiN down to 2 hatcheries. Well, technically 3 with the macro hatch. 4th hatchery builds back up at the 5th location for him. Muta's continuing to do some work over here, taking out some of the turrets, some of the workers as well. Polt actually has this game in the bag. Yeah. Oh, why does it say GG? I'm like, I tried to take a look at it. I'm like, he's got it in the bag, so yeah.